Hey guys, so I just got back from seeing Aquaman at the theatres. It's Wednesday morning, the 2nd of January, and the movie was scheduled to start at 9:30. Now here in Australia, whenever we go to the movies, we always get about 30 minutes of ads and trailers. So they have got that time for you to get in, find your seat, and get settled. But if you get there early like I do, you got to sit through all these ads. So anyway, the movie was supposed to start at 9:30, and it's about 10 to 10 when I decided to get up and go and tell somebody that there's nothing happening. The lights are still on, there's nothing on screen, the theater's getting pretty full, and nothing. There's no ads, there's nothing. I get back, a young guy comes in and says, yeah, there's technical difficulties, but nothing to worry about, the movie will be up very, very soon. One guy did yell out from the audience, what about the aircon? So yeah, it was a 30-degree plus day today, and there was no aircon in the theater either. So that sucked. Eventually, they did get the movie up and running, and the aircon kicked on about halfway through. And yeah, the movie started. So it was a bit of a rough start, but once the movie got going, yeah, I got swept away. I did have my reservations about going to a DC movie again. Justice League burned me pretty bad. Such a marvelous concept for a film, getting all the world's greatest superheroes together in the one movie and being helmed by Joss Whedon after Zack Snyder had to step away. What happened to that movie was just a travesty. Like, it's fine, it's just not, well, no, it's not fine, it's not good, it's not a good movie. And it just kind of breaks my heart to say that I'm a DC fan. I grew up on DC and Justice League and Superman and Batman and Wonder Woman and Flash and Aquaman. So to have this before my beloved franchise was just heartbreaking. It really, really was. So yeah, coming into Aquaman, they did have a lot to kind of live up to. They had to get the train back on the tracks, so to speak. And yeah, I'm happy to report that they actually succeeded somewhat. This is an entertaining film. So in the franchise, we have got Man of Steel, which the first time I saw that, I came out of there a little bit like, wasn't quite what I was expecting from a modern day Superman, but upon multiple watchings, I have come to appreciate that one. Batman vs Superman, The Dawn of Justice. I left the theater angry that day. My temper was kind of fed by the guys sitting next to me who were just growling and grumbling all the way through that movie. They were not happy with what they were seeing. So their influence kind of affected me as well. But I just felt the whole doomsday plot, Death of Superman angle was just rushed and was not earned yet. So to have that kind of forced into this movie and to have the Man of Steel die sacrificially at the end of that film just wasn't earned. Superman wasn't the beloved Superman figure that he's known for at this time. So I just felt really rushed and awful. And then we started getting trailers for Suicide Squad. Looked really cool. The movie was fine. It wasn't cool. It was okay. But that was like a big letdown from what the trailers kind of led us to believe the movie we were getting. Just, it wasn't. And as excited as I was for Jared Leto to be playing the Joker, didn't land. It didn't stick the landing, guys. It was just a bit unfortunate. So, and then of course we got the beloved Wonder Woman, which was just unreal with Gal Gadot, helmed by Patty Jenkins, also starring Chris Pine. That movie nailed it. It was unreal. I got such an emotional response from that film just in the opening 10 minutes. So I really, really enjoyed what they did with Wonder Woman. Although the ending was a little bit hit and miss, but it didn't overall wreck my love of that film. I really do enjoy it. It's the best one in the DC universe so far. Then we got Justice League, as I said. But now with Aquaman and Shazam coming out soon, they have a lot riding on these movies, and Wonder Woman 2 also coming on the horizon. So there's a lot of course correction that DC really need to do to kind of get the movies back on track to where the fans are going to love them and embrace them. It's not like they're short of stories to tell. There's a rich history, and having James Wan helm Aquaman was a definite step in the right direction. The color palette of this film was incredible. It was gorgeous considering where we came from with Man of Steel, how it was kind of like those dull muted tones that Zack Snyder kind of started with the whole DC universe. Much like Wonder Woman, the color palette was just phenomenal. This is a bright, colorful film. The special effects were gorgeous, so it is a good looking movie. It really, really is. And I had a real good sense of fun about it as well. So hooray, we have got a really high octane, very energetic Aquaman movie, which is just fun from start to finish. And Jason Momoa just owns the role. He's not the typical stereotype Aquaman that we know from the Super Friends comic books, although they do take some of that and embrace it for this movie. I'm not going to go into spoilers, but when Aquaman talks to fish, just like in the comic books, they embrace that here, which I really enjoyed seeing. So the story is very simple. We open up on Temuera Morrison's character, Tom Curry, meeting Atlanta, played by Nicole Kidman. He's a lighthouse keeper. He finds her stranded on the rocks, unconscious, looks after her, they fall in love, and they have little baby Arthur Curry, growing up to be the very hunky Jason Momoa. Pretty much lifted very much from the recent run of Aquaman comics by Jeff Johns. And I did read those, and I really enjoyed them. They're quite a good read, and a lot of that is lifted for this movie. It's a lot about Orm, played by Patrick Wilson, who is Arthur Curry's, Aquaman's half-brother, trying to unite the 7 kingdoms of Atlantis to come together so they can start a war with the land dwellers. So there's going to be a lot of casualties on both sides. So Willem Dafoe, who plays Volko, and Amber Heard, who plays Mira, want to get Arthur Curry to step up and find his birthright and help them stop Orm's claim for power, because if he becomes the ocean master and the controller of the biggest army the world has ever seen and starts a war with the land dwellers on Earth, it's going to be a complete disaster for both sides. So it's up to Aquaman to confront his half-brother, save the day, and become the hero he's destined to be. That's it. That's the story. It's very simple. Although it's like a very epic and big film, it's more about the relationships of the people in the story, small scale. So I did kind of find that James Wan's direction in this regards was very good. I love him as a director. So James Wan has started off as a horror director with the amazing, well, to me amazing, the Saw franchise. He kicked that one off. Also delivering us some really amazing Conjuring movies and opening up a Conjuring universe over there as well. And he did the Fast and the Furious 7, which was one of the biggest and best movies in that franchise. So yeah, the guy really knows how to capture an image on screen and deliver a really fast-paced story without losing any of the human element. So we open up with Temuera Morrison and Nicole Kidman, de-aged like a lot, and they both look really good. But I found that their relationship was really kind of like the heart and soul of the movie. Yeah, it was kind of like the undercurrent of the whole film for me, and I really enjoyed Temuera Morrison and Nicole Kidman's performance, even though they didn't have a lot to do. I kind of found the backbone of their relationship really was kind of the starting block for the rest of the movie, and it kind of carried all the way through, which was really quite amazing to me. Wasn't expecting that. Jason Momoa as Aquaman, yeah, like he's not a brilliant thespian, but the guy is charismatic as hell. He's big, and he just kind of brings this real bro mentality to the role, and it's exactly what Aquaman needed, being a big nerdy superhero creation. We all know that he is, but to have one of the coolest guys on the planet played this really nerdy superhero was just a match made in heaven, and he owned it. So when we first heard that Jason Momoa was cast as Aquaman and we got that first screenshot of him, yeah, he did go very much against type, like Aquaman's blonde guy, beach surfer type. So to get Jason Momoa in that role was just a stroke of genius. I love what they did with it, and he owns it. So I'm hoping that he gets more opportunities to play Aquaman after this film. We don't know how that's going to play out. We've still got Wonder Woman 2 and Shazam to come, so they really need to nail it to get, more movies out. But I hear there's a big slate. And also with the whole debacle between Henry Cavill and Ben Affleck not being part of the movies anymore. But I'm going on a tangent here. Let's talk about Aquaman. So let's talk about the cast. So we have Amber Heard as Mira. She was great. She's gorgeous. Played the role really well. Were a few little scenes in this movie that did feel kind of out of sync with Justice League. I've seen Justice League twice, and the scenes between Aquaman and Mera in that movie didn't really line up too much with this one. Like, there's a scene where Mera's talking to Aquaman in this movie, and it's early on, and he says to her, "Look, I don't even know your name." Yeah, the scene in Justice League, and I don't really want to go back and investigate, but I kind of got the impression that surely they know each other already. I mean, at least he should know her name, but from what Justice League did, but then again, A lot of people are just kind of disowning Justice League anyway. Willem Dafoe as Volker was very, very cool. Seeing him in a superhero film again, amazing. He was great as Green Goblin in the original Sam Raimi Spider-Man. Patrick Wilson, I love him as King Orm. He's one of my favorite actors. He was also in Watchmen back in the day, so he was great in that. And he was also in Fargo, the TV series, and he's in the Conjuring movies as well. So he's working with James Wan a fair bit. Great actor. Nicole Kidman, Aussie actress, been a fan of hers for years. Her stuff is hit and miss, but more often than not, she does do quality performances in her roles. And I thought she was fine in this. Not a lot for her to do, but when she is on screen, I thought I bought her. I mean, I thought she was gorgeous, and she had that authority of the Queen, and I thought she was good. Dolph Lundgren as King Nerys. I haven't seen Creed 2 yet. Desperate to see it, so I'm really waiting for it to come out on Blu-ray here in a few weeks. I'm glad that he's getting some more time on screen. He's a big beefcake of a guy, not known for being a great thespian either. But Dolph Lundgren's just one of those guys that if you grew up in the 80s, you just fell in love with him in Rocky IV and The Punisher. Well, not so much The Punisher, that was fairly mediocre. But he's just one of those actors you like seeing on screen, so I'm glad that he's here. Yahya Abdul-Mateen II as Black Manta. Now, here was a story element that I found a little bit confronting at the beginning of the movie. Like I said, I'm going to be avoiding spoilers where I can, but there is a scene, he's basically a pirate with his father in there, and they're trying to hijack a submarine, and Aquaman gets involved. Something happens which kind of sets Black Manta on his path to become a villain in this movie, which I didn't necessarily buy. Aquaman made a choice, and they do address it later on in the film, but it didn't feel natural to me. And if you're going to be a true hero, it's not something that he would have done. So he did kind of set the course for Black Manta's path in this movie, and it did kind of take me out of it a little bit. But that's a small gripe. As the movie progressed and the story went on, I did kind of buy him, and the Black Manta was a pretty cool villain in this too. It was good seeing him on screen, like comic accurate. Tamura Morrison, as always, a fantastic actor. I love seeing him on screen. Pretty much everyone of note, but there was a blink and you'll miss a cameo from Lee Whannell, one of James Wan's long-term collaborators. They worked on Saw together. He played the cargo pilot where Mera and Aquaman are on the way to the Sahara Desert and they bail. And yeah, the pretty funny line in there too, but very, very small cameo. So like I said, I'm avoiding the spoilers, so I just want to give you my impression, my feelings of the movie. And yeah, I had a lot of fun with this one. If you like sharks with laser cannons on their fins, having massive underwater sea battles with gigantic Kraken-sized monsters, you're going to dig this movie. The special effects were incredible. Like the colors, like I said, this movie is just loaded with color and fun and vibrancy. James Wan has crafted a very, very good film, introducing one of DC's most laughable superheroes and giving him a credible film. And I really enjoyed it for what it was. I would love to see more. Please, DC, just get Patty Jenkins and James Wan to be the showrunners for the rest of the slate. These guys know how to make movies. They craft movies with heart. There was a couple of scenes in this movie where the emotion on screen was affecting me. So yeah, they do get the core of the story right, which in turn gets the core of the characters right, and then the rest will just flow. So good direction, good writing, good performances. The problem will just solve itself. So giving Aquaman a score out of 10, I'm going to give it a solid 8 because I just had fun with this. It was a big budget, silly comic book movie that was done with enough serious undertones to give it that gravitas that a good story needs. The performances were solid. Jason Momoa was really growing into the role. And like I said, it just left the audience smiling. And that's all we really want from these DC comic movies. We want to be sitting there, go on these heroes' journeys with our favorite characters and just have a big, silly, dopey grin on our face at the end of it when credits roll. That's all we want. Marvel have been nailing that for years. I'm not going to go down that avenue. The whole argument between DC and Marvel is just don't even go there. DC's got a lot of catching up to do, and this is a step in the right direction. I enjoyed the hell out of Aquaman. Believe the hype, it was fun. And the musical score was good too. Some great uses of music in this film. And The action was great. There's some really amazing fight scenes as well. But I just love the way that they kind of like fully embraced the ludicrousness of the whole conceit of an underwater superhero who could talk to fish. It was marvelous, and I had a lot of fun. Anyway, guys, thanks for checking in, and I'll catch you in the next video. Thanks for watching.